Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I am going to do an update on travel and immigration in the Philippines. Not supposed to leave your residence, so unless somebody else knows better than me, I suspect that you may be turned back at that point in time. I have a friend who tried to go to the grocery store at J Center Mall a couple of days ago, and they asked him about his age. And when they found out that he was over 65, they escorted him out of the area. So I suspect that could happen to you. It's possible you might get up there and get processed, but it's really up to you. I would certainly be interested to hear from anybody who has been in and out of there in the last couple of days. I have a friend who went over to the grocery store at J Center Mall, where immigration is in Mandaue City. A couple days ago, they inquired about his age, and when they found out he was over 65, they escorted him out of the area. So anyway, you could take that chance. You might get processed. I would certainly be interested to hear from anybody who has made that trip. Fill us in on your experience there. But anyway, I believe there are not going to be any penalties for people who are, because of travel restrictions and the quarantine, anybody who misses their extension deadlines for their visa, their ACR card, etc., all those types of things, that there will not be any penalty in the month or two or five, whatever, coming up when all that gets settled out. Transportation also varies by region and island, and whether you're on a quarantine, an enhanced quarantine, an extreme enhanced quarantine, all those types of things. So there are areas that have shut down the buses, the jeepneys, tricycles, and the hobble hobble motorbike taxis. Other places allow some of that. So it really depends upon the area that you're in. But basically, it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to travel unless you have authorization, number one, and a very good reason to be traveling. So keep that in mind. Hotels and resorts. Things get complicated and confusing, and then a few days later, after they understand the unintended consequences, the government changes some of the rules. This is a good thing in this case. Number of days ago, the government, because of the quarantine, said that hotels were no longer able to have new bookings, and because of that, what was happening, people that were in the hotels tried to rebook at the hotel, and they said, no, new bookings are not allowed. So then they're sent out on the street with no place to go because nobody else can set up new bookings. So today I read an article saying that hotels and resorts would be able to book in new guests, but they had to abide by social distancing. And for instance, at resorts near the sea and other places, social distancing would be enforced. So you can't have a party, a big congregation with everybody close to each other down by the beach, for instance. Now, getting there, because you're not allowed to use most transportation, that would be another trick. You are allowed to walk or to ride bike, I do believe. So if you're not under a very strict quarantine, that might be an option. So the news and the restrictions and what is allowed is changing every day, sometimes by the hour. And you have the Philippine regulations and restrictions, and then each province, the governors can set up their own restrictions. Governor Garcia here in Cebu is going to ban all international flights, incoming flights, and as we go into an enhanced community quarantine or a lockdown. And that pretty much means that you are ordered to stay at home. Perhaps one person in the household can go out to procure groceries, those types of things. Will be custom fit the situation in Cebu. The lockdown is projected to last 20 to 30 days, but you never know what's going to happen in the next month. From here, they say they have funds that they can have available to them to assist the barangays and the local government units, the LGUs. As far as flights, passengers from international flights can no longer enter Cebu province starting March 27th. As of yesterday, there were 9 presumptive positive cases in Cebu. And I think the first case is undergoing a repeat test. Lapu-Lapu City Mayor Chan also announced the enhanced community quarantine starting March 29th. And the city will deploy 1 bus per barangay to ferry residents in buying basic essentials. And all barangay checkpoints now under PNP, Philippine National Police, because the checkpoints there were reports of inconsistencies and abuses. Even though the trucks were supposed to be allowed to flow to continue to their points of destination to deliver their goods, especially foodstuffs and important items like that. Various barangays were shutting them down and said they didn't have the proper identification permits, and also the empty trucks. Now the trucks are empty, they need to go back and pick up more produce, food, medical items, whatever. And some barangays were telling them, no, you only have a permit to deliver. You don't have a permit to leave again. So all kinds of goofy little issues like that should have never happened in the first place. In central Luzon, 30 trucks of rice were held for inspection on their way to Metro Manila. Noted that fish vendors from Bacoor City were recently unable to travel to southern cities of Metro Manila, where they usually sold their fish. And it has caused a number of increases in food, because in some areas there is a little bit of a shortage of food because of that. Not because there's a shortage of food, but because the problems in delivering it. Even farmers, Cordillera era farmers up in the north of Luzon dumped their carrots down a ravine because they could not find buyers, and the farm gate price fell to as low as 1 peso per kilo last Monday. So if you have time on your hand, I've got over 600 videos up, and most of those are categorized under different playlists. Everything from condos and hotels to resorts, to cost of living, health and dental. I think I've got about seven or 8 different playlists. Bohol Island and Panglao Island area. So anyway, 600 videos. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.